The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, the Free National Movement says it is skeptical about the validity of the voters' register. This as the Free National Movement's deputy leader, Shannon Cartwright, gets ready to lead a protest outside the Parliamentary Registrar Department tomorrow to call attention to the opposition's concerns. Also tonight, Temperature Check is back. Tonight, the Yamacraw constituency and the candidates for that constituency are in the hot seat. One thing's for sure, the stakes are high in this race as we have experienced the most interaction on the social media promo for tonight's show. So we get into it this evening. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, the Free National Movement says there are mounting concerns and questions as it relates to the voters' register. The FNM says they are hoping and that there are polling divisions with no voters registered in those divisions. A recipe for fraud? Well, tonight, Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson and Project Manager at the Parliamentary Registrar Department, Lucretia Dean Roll, join me. Good evening to both of you. It's good to have you both here. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good night, Shanique. Good night, Bahamas.
Good night, Bahamas.
It's good to have you here. Let's jump right in. These are some very serious accusations. Let's just talk about this voters register. We know this election coming up, it's already heated. So obviously all eyes are trained on what happens at the Parliamentary Registrar Department. Are there polling divisions in constituencies where there are no registered voters? And how does this all work? And why is the Free National Movement so concerned about this?
Shanique, I really don't know where that report came from. But all the polling stations in the Bahamas are populated by voters. So I'm not too sure where that came from. Or, a lot of things are happening now. We had boundary changes recently, and a lot of things are happening. So I'm not sure where that came from. But as far as the records are concerned in my office, there are voters in every polling division.
So listen, because let's take this really seriously. If the opposition is saying that there are concerns, where would they get that idea from, Ms. Roldean, Mr. Thompson? That listen, this here is a little questionable, this little shady looking. This has to be addressed.
Again, like I said initially, it's difficult to respond to that because from the records in the office. And I double-checked today, and what we're doing on the register now, we have over 198,000 persons on the register for the upcoming elections.
How many?
198,000, just over 198,000 to date.
Yes.
And we have teams working every day, addressing issues that arise, like debts and these transfers. We have a lot of transfers going on. So a lot of moving parts are happening right now. So, so there might be all kinds of reports out there. But as far as the official report is concerned.
That you can say this evening.
Right.
Registered right now as we sit at 8:05 p.m. on the 18th of February 2026. There are 198,000 registered voters on the register. Each polling division
is populated.
Is populated.
Yes.
Now, well, I hope we all hear that, because I'll tell you, transparent and fair and free and honest elections are very important to any.
And that is very important, Shanique. Like I said on this show before, when I came into that office, I invited the three leaders of the parties in the House to come and first have a discussion. The Prime Minister came, the Deputy Leader of the FNM came, and the Leader of the Coalition came. And we had a discussion on, because we were talking about the biometric cards and getting ready for elections. When we had the by-elections, I called all the candidates. They came with their lawyers, and all came with their lawyers and their supporters. So transparency is something that we are trying to keep on the forefront and ensure that every eligible Bahamian has the right to vote in the election. And after elections, I met with the chairman of the various parties. Mm-hmm. So as far as transparency is concerned, I have no problem with transparency, and I believe in transparency.
So you and your department, including Ms. Dean Roll right here, you only have no interest in doing something on the side untoward that would raise these questions and concerns?
No interest whatsoever.
Now, so then let's talk about it. Let's talk about this. Is the Parliamentary Registration Department fully prepared for an election if it were called tomorrow, next week?
We are prepared if elections are called as much as possible. As you know, it's a lot of moving parts now. Like, you know, we relaxed the transfer restrictions a few months ago. And so we have a lot of transfers coming in that we're addressing now. But if elections are called, we are prepared to move forward.
And you mentioned, of course, that every polling division reflects registered voters. Right. And so obviously with the population shift, and a lot of that has been going on, we know there are 2 new constituencies. Even with that factor in play, the polling divisions have been updated to reflect any shift, any sort of change in address, that kind of thing.
They are updated, and they're being updated on a daily basis. Until the register is certified, then things are changing. And it's only certified after elections are called and the writ is issued. But until that time, it changes from day to day. So the day you might see something and tomorrow it might be a different number.
How often are polling stations identified and inspected just to ensure that it's no rush to get them ready, but they are ready each step of the way in this process up to election day?
Well, actually, I met with my advisors this morning, and we dealt with the polling divisions and seeing how we would arrange those for the upcoming election. So we have started that process, and we'll be checked on a regular basis to ensure that everything is in order for whenever elections are called. Okay?
Yes, so the thing is, of course, we are here with the project manager as well in the Parliamentary Registrar Department, Lucretia Dean Roll. Ms. Roll, I want you to talk about what your role is, because you see, I'm sure these questions and others will emerge right until election night at 6 p.m., perhaps even after some new ones as well. So what is your role to ensure that this election is fair, it's free, it's transparent?
Well, first, Shanique, my role is to always have integrity as a public officer. If we have integrity, it doesn't matter. If we don't have integrity, it doesn't matter. But I choose to have integrity. Next to that, I am charged with being the project manager for the new Bahamas electoral management system, which will ultimately bring the biometric card. With that, I interface with our contractual company on behalf of Bahamas government and with the parliamentary registration team as a whole, Mr. Thompson and everybody else, to ensure that we get the right information, the valid information, the data is valid, that we get to use for the biometric card and for the new electoral management system. So like Mr. Thompson said, the redistribution takes place as we had changes with boundary, and the Parliamentary Registration Department executed that and continue to do the job as to issure that all persons are in the correct polling division and constituency.
I know it sounded pretty off when it came out that there were no registered voters in some polling divisions, huh?
Yes, to me, yes, it sounded off.
I'd like to know the status. Give us a status update on that biometric card that has been talked about tremendously since last year.
Well, I'm pleased to say that the biometric card is coming very, very soon. We have worked tirelessly. We continue to work to ensure that we bring that to Bahamian citizens, those of us who have verified and consented to getting the biometric card should soon be seeing that and that being issued. User acceptability test was successful. End-to-end testing was successful. The functionality testing was successful, and we continue to forge ahead with our mandate.
Yes. Now let's just talk about, let's go back to, you mentioned, Mr. Thompson, that you met with the leader of the Progressive Liberal Party, the Free National Movement, and the Coalition of Independents, and then following the recent by-election with the chairman of each of those organizations. So let's talk about this, though. What should happen between now right up to the general election? Should political parties be given greater access, sir, to review the voter register before the election?
Well, absolutely. There's no restriction on any Bahamian having that right to review the voter registration list. And we invite the political parties and the independent candidates to come, and the Parliamentary Registration Department is there for all and sundry. We are there for all Bahamians who have the right to vote in the upcoming election, or any election in the Bahamas, to come in and see what we're doing there.
Is there a role for independent oversight outside of those political organizations? Is there a role just to ensure that you all are on the right track and that all systems are in place and done so as honestly as possible?
Just like the political parties, Shanique, the independent candidates have that same right. They have the same access to us.
No, independent, like for example, a sort of an independent body to say, listen, no, this is great, because they could even perhaps defend what you all are doing at Parliamentary Registrar Department.
Well, we're open. We're open, like we said earlier. We're transparent. We have nothing to hide under the table. And anyone who inquires of anything about the Parliamentary Registration Department, we are prepared to share. It's nothing to be hidden under the table.
Now, I want to ask this. After the opposition raised these concerns, then questions about, listen, how safe is the register from being manipulated? So let's talk about that. Is the register safe from being manipulated politically by any one individual? People would normally say, listen, perhaps the sitting administration would have a greater access to that manipulation. So is the register safe from manipulation?
The sitting administration or no administration has any access to the Parliamentary Registration Department is independent in many cases, in many areas. And we control every data that we have. Everything that we deal with is controlled by us. No one have access to that except Parliamentary Registration Department.
Yes. Now, what about, for example, we had a story tonight in the news about a Haitian having fraudulent passports and documentation. What is sort of the process into investigating and then checking it twice to ensure that those things are weeded out, which any register would have?
Our revising officers are trained to, if somebody comes to register for the first time, they bring a Bahamian passport, and if there are any concerns that they might have, they have the authority to stop the process and check and make sure that everything is lined up. But if you show up with a Bahamian passport, that's the primary document that we use. So very seldom it's questioned, but sometimes they are questioned. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we ask the passport office to assist us or wherever we need to go.
And Shanique, just to add to Mr. Thompson's response, when there is reason to believe that information is fraud, as with passport in particular, in any government document, so a person who tends to deceive a public officer, that's a crime. So if a person bring a passport to the Parliamentary Registration Department and the information in there, that passport existent with other information proved to be fraudulent or seem fraudulent, then they have protocols in place in Parliamentary Registration Department as it regards to adjudication, then investigation, and it goes higher and higher as it need to. And that is how fraudulent passports are determined, because what has happened is the information that the public officer received was fraudulent.
And they have to swear to an oath. And the oath said, I am
Because I
a
know
citizen
you
of the
eased,
Bahamas.
yeah, I know you eased sort of the bringing in
Yeah.
of all those additional documentation, and,
Yes.
and that was a question like, wait a minute, he doing what?
Yeah.
For these people to be able to just sneak in?
No.
Now, there are ways, and persons with, as fraud experts, and from some experience in my trajectory through the public service, I can tell you there are ways to pick up on fraudulent documents, and once that you are aware of that, if that become aware to you, you turn it over to the persons in the organization who's supposed to do the investigation, and the investigation goes as high as it need to go. If it goes to the police, to the AG's office, to the court, wherever.
Yeah. I'd like to ask, you mentioned 198,000 persons are now on the register. Is that an increase? Are you noticing an influx, a bigger number, more interest in registering?
Yes, it is. Particularly since December, everything has increased. New registrants has increased, transfers and verification. All have increased since December. But this is the largest amount of voters that we've ever had in the country. And in 2021, there was 192,000. But also you have to bear in mind that we have removed at least 16,000 persons off the register for deceased, okay? So all of that is factored in. And we're still working on removing more from the register.
Yes. Now, quickly, if you can remind the persons where they can go to register, update, transfer, the various centers out there.
We have in Nassau, we have 21 centers that you can go to register, to verify, or to transfer. You have the Thelma Gibson Primary School, the E.P. Roberts Primary School, Uriah McPhee Primary School, S.C. McPherson Junior High School, Sybil Strawn Primary School, Gambia Primary School, Nassau Village Community Center, Edmund Moxie Center, Sadie Curtis, Adelaide Primary, Edwin Smiley Building, Aquinas College, C.R. Walker, Anatole Rogers, Town Center Mall, Marathon Mall, Elizabeth Post Office, South Beach Post Office, Carmichael Post Office, Cable Beach Post Office, and Fox Community.
I was about to ask you about post offices. And so all post offices?
All post offices, except Shirley Street.
Does that include weekends?
Weekends on Saturdays from 10 to 3.
10 to 3. And so
And the post office open from 10 in the morning until 8 in the evening, with 1 hour break in between 4 and 5. The schools are open from 5:30 to 8:30 in the evenings.
yes, that's
So
Monday through
everyone has an
Friday. And the
opportunity.
post offices, you also have Saturday, and of course, obviously the
Yes,
malls as well.
And also the malls.
Yeah.
And you can also come to the Parliamentary Registration
Registration
Department, head office.
Yes, yes. Listen, this platform remains open to the Parliamentary Registrar Department as we continue to move towards general elections. So you'll be seeing much more of Mr. Thompson and his team here to address anything that comes up when it comes up, and just to keep us all moving forward. Everybody's clear and on the same page in terms of what's happening. I thank you both very much, the Parliamentary Commissioner, of course, the Project Manager. Thank you as well for being here this evening. This is Beyond the Headline.
Thank you for keeping us.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. This is Beyond the Headlines. When we come back, pull up a chair, get something to drink, listen, because it's on. Yamacraw. That's right. Temperature check is back after this.
Are you self-employed or have a small business that's looking for a faster, easier way to submit your C10 statements and pay NIB contributions? Sign up for the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today. It's quick, secure, and takes just 5 simple steps. You will need a completed R1 business registration form and 2 forms of ID, a passport, voter's card, NIB card, or driver's license. Choose your role and enter your info, NI number, employer's NI number, name, and date of birth. Hit next. Enter your email, check your inbox for the code, then type it in to verify. Upload the R1 form and your 2 forms of ID and tap submit. Track your application anytime by tapping check status. Once approved, you'll get your confirmation and PIN by email within 24 to 72 hours. Return to the app, tap register now, set your login details and enter your final code. That's it. You're now ready to manage your NIB contributions anytime, anywhere. Self-employed persons, small business owners, skip the line, save time. Download the NIB C10 Easy Submit and Pay mobile app today.
Hey, it's your boy Charlie Bahama here at Superwash. And you know how Superwash always have the latest and greatest model of washer and dryer? Well, they thought it's about time they get the latest supermodel as well.
Hey, wait a minute, Mr. Charlie Banana. Just because Superwash always changing and upgrading their machines, I mean they gotta change those folks, but they got the newest washer and dryer, and they always upgrading all their locations. And these two models, they ain't gotta change. Superwash, they washes you, cleans you, presses you 24/7.
Introducing the Easy Renew portal, brought to you by the National Insurance Board. Renewing your national insurance card has never been easier.
I can renew our cards right from the comfort of our home.
And it's so convenient.
Wow.
Whether you're at work or studying hard at the library, even when you're on the go or enjoying retirement.
This is so easy.
Day or night, the Easy Renew portal is there for you. Easy Renew portal. Convenience at your fingertips.
Every great idea starts with courage. Every successful business starts with belief.
And every woman deserves the opportunity to turn her vision into reality. The Fox Foundation Women Entrepreneurship Initiative is back, bigger, bolder, and more powerful than ever. This year, Give to Gain honors women who gave their very best, their time, their talent, their sacrifice, and their vision to succeed in innovation-driven and emerging industries.
This initiative is about investing in women who are ready to lead, build, and grow. It's about creating a real pathway to success in a new era of business.
This year's program features 2 dynamic panel discussions designed to inspire action at every level. This year also features a distinguished international speaker, bringing global insight, helping to empower women to think bigger and lead boldly.
We're proud to grant over $75,000 in funding to emerging businesses and aspiring entrepreneurs ready to take the next step. If you have an idea, a business, or a dream worth building, now is the time.
Grant applications are open until February 28th. This is more than just an event. It is a powerful networking experience.
Surround yourself with women who means business.
Join us as we give to gain.
Give your best, build what's next, and gain what matters.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in this evening. Of course, before we get started on temperature check, of course, the Hot Topics panel, as usual, when I have a big interview and a big story, I like to get their feedback on it. And of course, we know the biggest story is the general election that is approaching, and whether or not the voter register is secure. Is it transparent? Are things being done orderly, and so that there's no room for discrepancy, for fraud, for whatever it is that may come up? As you all heard, the official opposition expressed a few days ago that, listen, there are some polling divisions with nobody registered. Not sure exactly, what, but they had that concern. I put that question first to the Parliamentary Registrar Department, and so I'm going to bring in the Hot Topics panel to have them speak to that and perhaps share some thoughts that they have on it. Good evening to you, Peggy and Gabrielle, Howard. Good evening to each of you, and welcome to Beyond the Headlines.
Good evening. Thank you for having me, Shanique.
Good evening, Shanique, and good evening, mamas. It's so good to be back in studio. I mean,
yeah, you joined us last week from somewhere,
Sorry,
somewhere
Howard,
in the world.
I left you.
Somewhere in the world, like they say, where in the world is Gabrielle? But listen, you all, let's jump right in. Before we shift gears, let's jump in. Your thoughts about the concerns expressed and even the allegations made that, listen, there are some constituencies that have polling divisions where there's no one registered. and I guess leaving room for any number of things to happen according to the Free National Movement. Your thoughts about that headline that went out there and had people saying what's going on?
Gaslighting. And thank you for having me, Shanique. I am glad that Mr. Thompson and his team have made themselves available, and that you have made this platform available to clarify, because we don't need any confusion. We don't need people throwing things up against the wall, hoping it would stick, especially when Mr. Thompson said that the parliamentary register is open for any and every Bahamian, especially those of political leadership, party leadership, to go in. And I think the responsible thing to do is to go and verify, confirm. You can hear whatever you know. The responsible thing before you go to the to community and planning protest is to go and verify. If the department cannot provide you with the facts, cannot show you proof to verify either way, then you take another step. But to go out there, putting out there, and everybody, we just like to speculate and we just like drama. And so to create gaslighting situation where Bahamians are in uproar over a subject that can easily be verified, easily be confirmed whether it's true or not, I think they need to be much more responsible.
Once again, good evening, everyone. I don't think who brought it up? Cartwright?
No, he has a protest. He has a protest plan for tomorrow to further address it. But the opposition,
whomever may have brought up the issue, maybe it is because I listened to Mr. Harrison Thompson's contributions as we waited, and he said today something can be and tomorrow it can change. They are still populating data as people transfer, as constituencies were created. So maybe it is that at the time when the person went that day, maybe those polling divisions weren't populated. So they may have received a register at that time that may not have had the names populated when, let's use the Newson seats in James, for example, was created, leaving those polling divisions unpopulated with persons. That's the only rationale I can see to justify that sort of allegation. So that day they went, but to the following day, as per Mr. Thompson's recommendations, that would have been corrected because the register is constantly being updated. My biggest challenge though and concern, that wasn't even the biggest concern for me because the register, like he said, isn't certified until the general election is called. My biggest concern is that person who got a passport, a voter's card and an NIB card and not eligible to hold any of them. I think we should be alarmed because we heard the Minister of Foreign Affairs say that this could not happen and should not be happening. So is there an investigation to see at a higher level who issued those documents if they were legit?
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, colleagues, and good evening, Bahamas. So jumping right in here, I mean, what I would say is that when you look at documents that are necessary for participating in elections in the Bahamas, your voter's card, your passport, your NIB card, these are things that you get prior to coming to the Parliamentary Registration Department involvement in casting your vote. And so there are various organs of the central government that are responsible for different documents where fraudulent can and should be caught. So for us to be saying that we're going to man a protest against this particular department, the Parliamentary Registrar Department isn't responsible for issuing passports. And the documents that are provided for a passport, just using that particular document at this time as the example, there are several other organs of government that are responsible for scrutinizing the documents that are provided for the passport and issuing the passport itself. And so when you look at that, fraud is to be detected in various organs of the government. And so moving right along from that quickly, because I know we got to go. When you look at the opposition, I believe it's the deputy leader supposedly leading that protest tomorrow. You are doing your dress rehearsal for being the government of the Bahamas once again. What I believe that they should do, because we always have to start off with the breakdown, the big fight, the 12-round heavyweight championship of the world. you know, if you're doing a dress rehearsal to be the government, let's go in and into those organs of government that we expect to be superintending in a few months. And let's meet with these people, make it a courtesy call. We are here to see what is going on, in line with what Peggy said. We are here to see what is going on with the registration, the parliamentary registrar department. We want to ensure that this process is going to be transparent and fair. And we want to let you know that the opposition, expecting to be the government very soon, right? Expecting to be the government, we want to ensure that not only everything is right, but if there's anything that we can do as the incoming government to assist you with ensuring that our personnel and our members are coming in and able to register and participate in a free and fair election. That's how you do this.
Well, do you think the deputy leader of the Free National Movement should be protesting there or elsewhere? And I want to say before you all weigh in on that very quickly, because we do have to get to temperature check, is that I had here the chief passport officer several times on the show, and he would say, Shanique, this is exactly what's happening. The organs of detection of fraud and fraudulent activity is working, because why? This person was nabbed, this person was caught, and this person is now having to answer to law enforcement. So you all think still, though, that protest should happen at parliamentary registrar or maybe at passport office?
Shanique, I think the right and proper thing, instead of the protest, to go in and have a conversation like Howard is saying. Have a conversation with Mr. Thompson, his team, with the leadership of the passport office, even with the commissioner of police. And besides, it's a lunch. You're supposed to be protesting in lunch. Got right?
They said the opposition didn't say nothing but giving up protests. Peggy.
We know it's politically, we know it's politically motivated, but I want you to know that
they say nothing but giving up protests.
I have determined to give up something. I will. I can try stay true to that.
And Shanique,
yes, Howard.
You know, and Shanique, listen. I'm all for protesting if something seems untoward after you've sat with these various departments of government associated with elections. I'm all for that. Listen, in 2012, I was a part of what was considered a very controversial election, individual constituency election, where I won on election night by 9 votes and then lost by 66 votes less than 48 hours later. So I don't want anyone to think that I don't believe that fraud can happen or that it doesn't happen. But what I'm saying is your response, especially at this time, in the pre-election period, is to be sensible and go and meet with these people to ensure that you're getting the right information and things are done before you do something belligerent and before you do something extreme like having a protest against these departments.
Well, you both, all three of you, in fact, let us move this show forward because we have to get to what the topic at hand, temperature check. It's officially back, y'all. Tonight is officially back, and where are we focusing in on? Yamacraw. Now, let me tell you all, I want to begin by saying I posted a promo, as I normally do since we started temperature check, on Shanique Miller, the conversation page on Facebook. And let me tell you, this is the first time. In fact, let me just see up to now as we are live. Let's just see what is the participation. Now, I did not follow the 176 comments. Listen, this is the absolutely, people are interested in Yamacraw. Hot. That's what it is, hot. Listen, I know, right? I really want to know. And of course, here are the ground rules. In case you all forgot since last year, I don't speak to the candidates, even those I'm related to or friends with. Don't speak to them ahead of a temperature check night. So the panelists go out and get their investigation. They research the social media footprint of these people, and however else they would go and get a good assessment of where each candidate, including incumbents, where they stand, what have they done, what's their track record, how are they showing up in the constituency. And so let's begin. I'd like to begin, obviously, and this is what we've been doing since we started, with the Coalition of Independence candidate in the Yamacraw constituency, Yvette Prince. They're the 3 candidates right there. There is Ellsworth Johnson, Zane Lightbourne, center, and Yvette Prince to your right. And so I'd like you all now to jump in. And what do we know about Yvette Prince, the candidate for the Coalition of Independents? Stop it. Stop.
No, but
Anybody, please. Howard, you could jump in first because maybe you need to trigger these things.
Yeah, I can jump in. Yeah, I found out a little bit of information about her. Ms. Prince was actually the COI's candidate in the Fox Hill constituency in 2021.
Which constituency?
Yes, she was the COI's candidate. And up to, on the social media page that I found, up to 2023, it appears as if she was preparing to make a run for that constituency again. But as we know, Mr. Bobby Brown, I believe his name is, was
Bobby
ratified
Brown.
to run for the COI in Fox Hill. And so I believe then whatever happened there, Miss Prince pivoted over to Yamacraw. And so I found out that information, and I also found a few photographs on social media with Miss Prince actually campaigning and handing out several COI T-shirts in the Yamacraw constituency, but that was it.
Okay, so she is not a newcomer to politics. What do we know anything about maybe her vision, what she is planning on doing in Yamacraw, or maybe what she's already started to do?
No. I did not find any such information, and several persons that I spoke to about all three of these candidates, none of them had actually spoken to her or seen her on the ground, save those photographs that I found on social media.
Anybody else has anything to add?
I think it's interesting that Ms. Prince has been ratified actually from the very first bunch of the Coalition of Independents candidates. She was in that first 19, the grand rollout that they had. And it seems that she has not been impactful at all. The persons that I was able to speak with across Yamacraw is a battleground seat. Make no mistake about it. It's one of those battleground seats in the East, largely shared on that Elizabeth boundary, where it splits right down the middle between Yamacraw, Elizabeth, comes around and borders St. Anne's. They don't play around down there. If they don't see you, feel you, hear you, and touch you, they had no clue who Miss Yvette Prince was down on that. Like I said, I bought it, I traversed.
You went, you
deeper in. Of course, you know I go.
No, I know. Each of you have a different method of investigating. But I'm saying you actually went
down there into the constituency. I also did a multi-tier investigation for Miss Yvette, just for her. She gets special treatment today. And I also went and searched. I used Peggy's method. So I used a little bit of social media, and I found that there was no real presence. I was shocked. And when Howard said he found some photos on, Howard, please share that link with me so I can see.
Are you friends on Facebook?
Because you had to add her page. See, Howard is friends. If you're running for public office, why do we have to add you as a friend to figure out what you're doing? Go ahead, Peggy. Anything?
Being friends, so I couldn't find out.
I'm not friends with her. It's Fox Hill Independent. That's what her social media page starts with. And I was thinking that she was an independent candidate in 2021. But then when I went into that social media page, that was when I saw the COI's logo and some other information and stuff and the pictures. So Fox Hill Independent, it starts with that, and then you'll find it.
Okay, listen, we are just getting started this evening. Of course, if you're just tuning in, this is Temperature Check here on Beyond the Headlines. When we come back, we look at Ellsworth Johnson. You know him. He is the Free National Movement's candidate. He is a former cabinet minister, and he served in that constituency before. We'll talk about him and how he's showing up. And then the incumbent, the Progressive Liberal Party's candidate, Zane Lightbourne, the present member of parliament. How is he showing up? What has his track record been this term? And of course, at the end of it all, we'll discuss where this seat is leaning right now. Beyond the Headlines is back. Temperature Check right after this.
Okay, guys, this is what we doing today. We training for the bounce back. This 150K payday. Y'all ready? Yes. Y'all sweating today. Give me a 2 ball. 10. Give me another 2 ball. 15. You spin, right? It don't look so. There's 10K. Name these games after me. Food Dragon.
Food Dragon.
Cinema Classic.
Cinema Classic.
Yeah. Put that parlay in. Put that in. You know, Jalen Brunson disappointed us last time. You want to walk for this or you want to run for this? Good pace. Good pace. Not too much water. Put it down. Let's go.
It's the Bounce Back 150K payday. Big wins for 10 weeks straight. 15K every week. 10K to a lucky winner. Visit islandluck.com for more info. Island Luck. Winners live here.
We all know there are ways we can help. Your help can go even further. Be an everyday superhero. Donate to Hands for Hunger.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. Of course, it's Temperature Check Wednesdays. We're going to move this right along very, very quickly. Ellsworth Johnson, the Free National Movement's candidate in the Yamacraw constituency, he has been elected in Yamacraw before, and so he's back there again, hoping to be successful in the upcoming general election. What do we know about Ellsworth Johnson this time? How has he been showing up there? Of course, that is him on the left of your screen. How has he been showing up during this entire term in Yamacraw, hoping obviously to re-enter the race as he's done and is now ratified ahead of 2026 general election?
So, Shanique, this is a rematch between Mr. Ellsworth Johnson and Shane Liburn. We know 2021, Mr. Liburn defeated Ellsworth, who was then the current Member of Parliament for that constituency. However, Mr. Ellsworth, of course, I do my research on social media, and he has 2 pages that I came across, Facebook pages, and they're very lacking. I'm sure he's been on the ground. I just don't seem to find the records of his movement, his involvement in his community. And I must say, you got to do better, because in our culture, if it's not before us, it didn't happen. And so I know Mr. Ellsworth have a history of being in his community, working with the different segments in his community on the parks and whatever, but I cannot find posts that are current enough to make reference for, and that involved the last current event on his page. One of his pages was him accepting the challenge with Mr. Blue Johnson, working out.
That, yes.
And so they need to keep this information updated, especially temperature check. All y'all be coming.
Yeah, we are coming, and I tell you, no holds barred. Gabrielle, your thoughts? Did anybody kind of go? Well, you ventured in. What did you hear on the ground? What is he doing? And if he's not documenting it on social media, then what is he doing in the constituency?
Ellsworth has kept in the constituency since his loss. The residents have not denied that he's kept in touch with many of them since his loss, but it's kind of been a little pullback compared to what they're used to. The residents are used to that Ellsworth Johnson that I think sat on a show and took on the late Bradley Roberts. They're used to that roaring Ellsworth. They're not seeing that. Ellsworth, listen, if you're watching right now, the people say they want the Ellsworth to tell Bradley that's why God created hell, okay? That's what Ellsworth they want. They want to see that fire in a representative that you're going to fight, because your competitor is not giving this to you on a silver platter. And when we get to him, I will explain why it is a difficult choice for them to give you your support in Yamacraw. Their support.
Howard, you seem to be glitching a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you now.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. So Ellsworth, being the former representative, I believe that he anticipated that he would come back for the rematch. So he's never really left. You see somewhat of a little pullback, and I can hazard a guess about that, but we're not here for that. Ellsworth has been on the ground. He's been doing constituency walkabouts. He's been having constituency association meetings to engage residents. I saw on his social media that he had events consistently up to the end of last year and early into this year with what's the majority rule day. Some guys were out on the park painting some of the Bahamian flag stuff out there. So he has somewhat of a presence, but it appears to be somewhat limited, especially compared to his competitor. But one thing that I saw that was very interesting, Ellsworth went around to some of the parks and did an assessment, and then engaged with beaches and parks to get some of those repairs and stuff that were needed done to the parks. But he has to engage at a higher level, because you're not seeing very much other than national party events and stuff on Ellsworth's page. So if I were to give him a quick bit of advice tonight, I would tell him he needs to bring it down to his individual Yamacraw campaign, because what you're seeing most of on his pages are national F&M events.
I think Ellsworth,
and his involvement in those.
I think Ellsworth has been disadvantaged by his own party, because I know for a fact they had labeled him a menace guy. and he had received great challenge from within the party because of that labeling, and I think it's weakened him. And that is the outcome of that infighting. When a member was labeled a supporter of Minnis, they will almost back balls within the party. And I think that's, we're seeing that play out right now.
The thing about it is, Ellsworth has to put all that to the back burner. You received the nomination. You are the candidate. The first thing is win your seat. No one promised to win a seat. You need to win yours and worry about the rest later. That's it, and that's all.
Very true. Well, a point well taken. A point well taken. Let's move this along very quickly. Zane Lightbourne, of course, we all know that he won against Ellsworth back in 2021. They are at the table again for a rematch. But let's just talk about Zane Lightbourne, the Progressive Liberal Party's candidate, the incumbent there, the sitting member of Parliament. How has he shown up, this term? What has he been doing in Yamacraw to make a difference? And what are the people saying about Zane Lightbourne?
They call him the beast in the east. Zane Lightbourne is extremely popular. And even though he has this gentleman appearance, he's been very involved in his community. They love him. Shanique, you can look at your page. 90% or more.
I saw the page. I haven't read the comments, but I saw the page.
90% or more of those comments are in support of Zane Lightbourne. And 4 days ago, he called the post the receipts. And it's an outline of everything he has been doing and done in his constituency. And so Zane Lightbourne have a 4 years track record just laid out on Facebook, and he also have the support of the young constituents of Yamacraw. He's the one to beat, in my opinion.
Listen, Three Piece couldn't beat Belinda Wilson in
this is
union.
Wait a minute.
Master
This is
saved
who you
his
call
life.
Three Piece? Gabrielle,
but listen to me.
Gabrielle, you are so wrong.
He got Yamacraw on lockdown now.
Yes.
He finally winning a fight, and I'm very happy for him. He is actually doing well, no matter what side of the political divide you on. I think he found his shine. Belinda couldn't make it in politics, and he couldn't make it in the union. There you go. Y'all swap places, and y'all doing well. So just some lighthearted humor there. But Zane has definitely been resonating with residents. You have to give it to him.
Yes.
A lot of them that I spoke to, the vast majority of them, they were impressed because he's so quiet, reserved. He doesn't walk into a room very loud, but he walks into the room very sharp. And he executes what he has to do. They praise programs such as the program he had over the summer for the children. Numerous senior programs he had.
Senior programs.
Yeah, beautification stuff. So he is doing a great work down there, and the residents of Yamacraw, and this is why I'm saying to Ellsworth Johnson, you have your work cut out for you. This is going to be a tough matchup. This is going to be straight to the finish line. You may have to Shawnee Uber it to get across there with Zane Lightbourne, because he's not letting up on the gas. He couldn't beat Belinda, but he wants to beat you again.
He's beating him.
Go on, Howard.
Yeah, Shanique, Zane, so many different programs. I like particularly the agricultural program that focuses on the hydroponics, the modern farming, and the food sustainability. And then he has one that's for the sick and shut-in, where he has a team out there and they are checking on and assisting elderly residents and families. One thing that he had just yesterday, on Tuesday, was a Ride to Register initiative aimed at getting persons registered to vote. You know, on the flyer, there was a bus that I believe was going around the constituency and picking up persons so that they can go and register to vote. These are the tangible things that me and my colleagues are talking about tonight, no matter what side of the political divide you fall on. These are the tangible things that is going to make this gentleman very difficult to beat at the polls whenever the Prime Minister calls the election.
And so, of course, we are just getting started. This is the first constituency in the new year. I hope you all are enjoying it. Now, here's the big question tonight. Here's the big question. Where is Yamacraw leaning at this moment?
PLP.
Yamacraw is leaning PLP with Seeing Lightborn.
Yes.
Leaning PLP at this time.
There you have it, you all. The first constituency in a brand new year, 2026, months before a general election. We jumped in with Yamacraw, the Yamacraw constituency, and my panelists all, the first time they agreed, they all agreed and said the same thing. Yamacraw is leaning at this moment in the PLP's corner. Well, of course, we will just see exactly where we go next week, where you all think we should go. I want to hear from you all. But I hope you all enjoy this. I'll tell you, all the views expressed are solely theirs. Notice I have nothing to say. I sit back because that's what this temperature check is all about. They go and investigate. They go and look at social media. They go and speak with residents even. They do a number of things. Gabrielle has a tendency to go into the constituencies that are here in New Providence. And so they each have their way of investigating, of being able to truly get a temperature check of the constituencies, and we will continue this right up to the general election. Perhaps a Family Island seat next week, you all. What you all think?
Would be lovely. South Andrews.
South Andrews? Okay. South Andrews is next week on temperature check. You all, you know it's Leon Lundy for the Progressive Liberal Party, Julian Gibson for the Free National Movement. Not quite sure, but we'll know who the COI's candidate is. We certainly will make sure of that. And then next Wednesday on temperature check, South Andrews.
Yes.
I thank you all.
We'll
I
just
think
decide that on the fly.
I know, right on the fly. Start calling tonight. That's all I could say. Listen, I thank so much the Parliamentary Registrar Department who stopped by. Of course, you all saw the Parliamentary Commissioner as well as one of his officers stop by this evening. Thanks to both of them so much. And of course, to this amazing panel who is not short on opinions. I tell you that. They don't even look at me for their opinions. They tell it like it is as they see it. Thank you all so much, Peggy, Gabrielle, Howard. Thank you so much. And a huge thank you to all of you out there tuning in. I certainly enjoyed having you along, and I look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.